3.
Okay, this is another unprofessional videotape production by Georgia, and we're going to talk about show collars and starting to get puppies used to them. When you go to a handling class, especially if you're a new person, it's really confusing because you're trying to do everything at once. You're trying to get the puppy used to the collar up around the neck. You're trying to get used to a hold still. You're trying to get them used to putting their legs down in position. You're trying to get them to hold still. So there's a lot that has to happen to actually get the end result of a dog stacking the proper way. The first thing you really want to do, which is super easy, is get the puppy used to the sensation of the collar being up around the neck. This is not a normal sensation for dogs. Usually when we have collars, they're down around the base of the neck. When we show dogs, we hold the collar up right up to the ears and it's fairly snug. So if a dog's unfamiliar with this sensation, their tendency is to want to pull into it and then they start choking and gagging, and that's not a very pretty picture. Plus it's not very comfortable for the dog. If we take a few minutes every day with our puppy and teach them how to get used to the collar, things will be a lot easier. Now this particular collar that I'm going to use for an example is a little bit unique because it has a free ring here. Most collars have just a ring on both sides, but what's nice about this one is if you're working with cropped puppies, you do not have to try to slip the collar over their head. You just simply snap the collar onto the live ring and you put the collar over the puppy's head and woo, you're ready to work. The other nice thing is you can very easily use the collar with no slip portion, or you can change it back depending on your puppy and depending on your needs. When you put a collar on, there is a right and a wrong way to do it. If my left hand was the dog's neck, when you put it on, it forms a P, and when you pull it, it releases. This is the correct way. And another trick is once you have it this way, if you come up to your dog and put your hand on their face, then you can just slip it over their head. Okay? So again, releases, and you can just slip it over their head. If you have the collar upside down, you pull, and look, it doesn't release. So you lose the effectiveness of the collar. So now we're going to just take a quick break while I grab the puppy. Jack's going to videotape nothing while I do that, and we'll show you how to put the collar on. Okay, this is Kiss. She is a puppy from our last litter, and she thinks the tulips are really interesting. But you can see she's got her ears in tapes. So instead of having to try to get this collar over her head and across her tapes, which is pretty hard to do, I can instead just take this collar, hook it to the live ring, and I've got it on the right way. Now, the proper show position is up here, right up to the ears. So to get the puppy used to this, you're going to place the collar right up. You're going to snug it as well as you can. I'm a little bit of a disadvantage because this has got the price tag on it, and she's going to eat the flowers while we do this. Snug it up, and then take a piece of tape and secure your excess so the collar stays up here. Unfortunately, because she's a little bit higher than I am, I'm having a hard time getting the angle to get the slack. But you get the idea. We just tape it, and then this collar just is resting at the base of her ears. And for the first day, she just wears this. Now, I want to say you always supervise collars. You never leave these type of collars on dogs unsupervised. As she becomes a little bit more accustomed to the collar, what you're going to do is have a piece of high value treat, piece of chicken, piece of liver. You're going to hold the collar nose level, and you're just going to put a little bit of pressure on it. Let him nibble at the bait a little bit, hold back, let him look at it, nibble at the bait a bit, hold back, give it to him. Good dog. And you just do this several times a day. When they're randomly walking around the room, you just put a little bit of pressure on the collar, hold the food nose level, let them have it. This way they learn to not only get their head up and become accustomed to the sensation of the collar, but they learn that the collar up is associated with food and fun things. Now these collars can be purchased pretty much at any dog show supply store. I personally get mine at 3C's Dog Show Supplies, and you can purchase them online. I don't know specifically what they're called, but it's pretty easy to explain them. And that is the end of our lesson for today. Thank you very much.